Tough times equals profitable traders. Let's dig into this because the last few days and even maybe the last couple weeks for a lot of people, the trading has been a lot more difficult. And I actually touched on this on my last video. Rather than getting upset about it, just accepting and embracing the fact that it's a little bit more difficult so that way you can stick around for when things get better. And this doesn't just apply to trading, right? Like as far as accepting the tough times, being able to deal with them, building mental toughness, that applies to every other aspect of life. So I just want to go over a few points that I think can really relate to the trading side of things. As far as mental toughness, when you're having a difficult time, you're struggling a little bit, you can't get a lot going, that's where you really build that mental toughness, which I think is crucial for being a successful trader. I really do think mental toughness is a massive edge. It allows you to be able to kind of endure the difficult times easier than others who maybe aren't as mentally tough. A lot is going on in your mind, whether it be when things are good or bad. So being able to control your mind is going to be very beneficial. It's not easy to do. Trading is very different than anything we've ever been taught in life. So that takes years to kind of build that mental toughness callus. But if you can do it, I think that it's a huge plus when it comes to your overall psychology and your trading performance. And now the next one, so it really refines your edge. It requires you to be incredibly patient. So when things are just going straight up or straight down, it's really easy to take trades, be on the right side of a lot of them. But when things start to chop around and become more difficult, that's when you realize that you really got to refine your edge. Obviously, you have those moments when volatility picks up, you can take full advantage, but being able to be patient, back off a little bit, understand when the chop is there, figure out an edge for when things don't become as easy. And that right there is how you figure out how to navigate in numerous different environments. Because if you're able to make money when things are just going straight up and straight down, that's fine. That's the easy side of trading. But the more difficult side of trading is being able to make money when things are choppy and not very easy, and the overall price action is just not A+. And that's really what allows you to refine your edge, which is very important. A lot of people come into the market and they don't even have an edge. They're just kind of throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and hoping that it sticks. And that's not how you last long-term in the market. You have to spend a long time trying to figure out what works best for you. So that way you can trade bull markets, bear markets, and sideways choppy markets. And the next one, which is it prepares you for better times. I talked about this a little bit on my prior video, but when things are very difficult, it can be easy to want to give up and throw in the towel. But a lot of times, that right there is building up kind of your mental toughness, your edge to be able to prepare you for when things get better. Because when they do, that's when the trading gets easier. And if you're not around to take advantage of it, then you're going to miss the opportunity. And like I've talked about before, it's easy to trade easy markets and then take full advantage and make a ton of money and think trading is easy. But the difficult times, if you can navigate accordingly and you can just hang around, even if you can't get a lot going, stay alive, grind it out, make sure to manage risk to the best of your ability. What it's doing is it's preparing you for when things get easier again. And that is very important when it comes to trading, because when things get easy, if you've overexhausted yourself or you happen to take too much risk and you blew up, you're not going to be ready for when that opportunity presents itself. And a lot of times that's where short-term traders can add a lot of P&L on top of their performance. And the next point is that it's a character builder. When you're getting the crap kicked out of you or you just can't get much going and you feel very stressed out that you're not making a lot of progress, you're not seeing the P&L that you want to see, it humbles you. You understand that you're not bigger than the market. You're not better than the market. The market's going to do what it wants to do, and you just have to do a really good job at reacting. If you're trying to predict and you think you know what's going to happen, you're going to get really beat up. And I'm sure that there are a ton of people that are experiencing this right now. And during those times of getting really beat up, you really do get humbled. And I think that that allows you to kind of come back down to earth, realize that trading is not that easy. It's not just an ATM where you can make money every single day and become rich overnight. You really have to do a lot of the things that I've talked about in my prior videos to be able to make this work long-term and take it one day at a time. So it really does humble you, which I think is a good thing, because when it comes to trading, especially if you can have some consistency and then you're on the right side of trades a lot, and especially during volatile times, you can catch those big moves, you're putting up good P&L, you can get a little high. And I feel like when you do, I've done it plenty times before, you feel really good. You almost feel like you're invincible. And right then and there, that's when the market gods kind of have to put you in check and humble you. And then the last point is that this just kind of opens up the reality of trading. I know social media makes it seem like you can make thousands of dollars every single day, which is just not the reality. And also people talk about quitting a job and making trading your only source of income, which I think is insane. I don't care how much money you make trading. I think there should always be another source of income. And when the trading becomes a little bit more difficult and people realize that they're not going to put up the same P&L that maybe they were used to a couple weeks ago, the prior month, or even the prior year, that is the reality of trading. That's why having other sources of income is going to be very important, and understanding that when it comes to making money in the market, it's going to be very up and down and incredibly volatile. Because if you just go based on social media, you're going to think that it's easy to make money every single day and it should be the only way that you make money, when I think that's crazy. So for the tougher times to really expose the reality of trading, I think it's a good thing, because especially when I first came into trading, I did not kind of have my expectations in check. And now with all this years of experience I'm going on 6 years in December, I feel like my expectations are in control of trading. I realize that I do want to make a living from it, but this is not get rich quick. It's not make tens of thousands of dollars every day. There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times. There's going to be just frustrating times in between, and I have to embrace all of them. So that was just kind of my thought process and some of the things that I wanted to go over as far as tough times equaling profitable traders. It may not feel like it, but the struggle usually leads to really good long-term success. So that's it. Hopefully you got some value from the video. I appreciate you watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just want to talk about a couple cool things that I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is exactly what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every single day. I do a quick analysis of the overall market, the SPY and the Qs, if there's any major market news that day, and then all the stocks I'm interested in watching. It's usually 4 or 5, if there's any major news tied to them, and all the levels that I think are in play. To the left, this is exactly what I'm posting on my private Twitter. I make sure to add that newsletter. I take a screenshot of the charts, green line to the upside being long, red line to the downside being short, and I make sure to highlight those 2 levels above. This is everything that's going on in my mind and my game plan going into each market open. Also, I make sure to add a little mental note, because every day is slightly different, and here's an example of that. And if you want something that's a little bit less of a commitment, I do offer a live one-on-one call for 1 hour. This is where you can ask me questions about my journey, go over setups specifically, everything that I've gone through as a trader. Whether you're beginner or advanced, this is a great way to connect with me. So if you're interested in my private Twitter or the one-on-one live call, feel free to go to callmattdiamond.com or check out the links in the description below.